Well, shall we get started, y'all? You want to get started? Let's start standing today. And I think in these classes lately, it's been really nice to outside to start standing just to get warmed up if you're not already warmed up. And we'll start with just some real gentle bouncing. So you can keep part of your feet on the floor and just lifting your heels, just gently letting yourself just kind of shaken out. And you can make it as gentle or as vigorous as you like, but see about letting the body just start to get real soft and letting the arms be kind of like cooked spaghetti. Just shaking it out. And then you can go onto one leg and shake out the opposite. See if you can get a little balance. And keep the bouncing if you like. And the same with the other side. And starting to bring your breath into this too, letting the breath get really deep and just maybe notice if the breath is already getting more into one arm and then into the other. Already moving into that ujjayi breath, getting it deep into the belly. Using the nose, really flat, flaring the nostrils, maybe the arms start to come up over the head. Shaking it out. Shaking out the jaw. Making a little noise. And then we'll start moving into some swaying of the arms, just little tiger tails. Hands can just real gently hit the body. It can even come up on the neck a little bit, the shoulders, low back, the belly. Just experiment a little bit. Keep breathing. Letting the breath really cycle through and then slowing it down, rooting through the feet, soft fist with the right hand, and we'll start at the throat along the side of the neck and working your way down the shoulder, keeping gentle bend in the knees here, balanced weight in the feet. And breathing real full all the way up the bottom of the arm, along the chest. And then on the other side, yeah. Just shaking it out. A little tapping, love taps. And the belly and the kidneys. And then just kind of moving your way down the glutes, backs of the legs, sides of the legs, all the way down. Letting the head just kind of hang a bit here too. Getting into the tops of the feet. And then insides of the legs. And then just shaking out the hands, just kind of like you got something sticky on the hands. Just and then coming to the top of your mat if you're not there already. This will be interesting for me. I'm a little like this. So just finding and it's okay if you need to move your mat at any time, readjust. That's what we do, right? In life, we readjust accordingly. And we'll start with some big shoulder rolls. Big inhaling, taking the shoulders up and rolling the shoulders down, exhaling. And maybe you try really getting the breath deeper than it's been all day. And know that if I say to inhale when it feels better for you to exhale, that you have agency, and that's better. It's fine. I'm reversing the direction. You have agency and choice throughout this practice. You can do whatever feels right for you. Something I say doesn't, please don't push. And then we'll take some big circles with the hips. Again, feeling that equal balance and weight in the feet. And both directions. And then we'll bring the feet into touch. Maybe the big toes are touching the heels, don't have to be, and the hands can come to the heart. Pressing the thumbs into the sternum into the thumbs, and see about just lifting the heels And then releasing the heels, coming on to the heels, lifting the toes. We're just going to roll back and forth a few times. Beautiful. And then we'll pause with the heels lifted. Woo! And then bending the knees. Sipping bird. We're going to see about bringing ourselves onto the earth this way. If you'd like to bring yourself all the way down like this, that's the challenge, incorporating that space below the belly button to really help balance you. Maybe reaching the arms forward at some point. And then we're just going to roll back. Woo! And maybe a couple rolls on your back if it feels okay. And then finding your way all the way on to the earth, giving your knees a hug. And then taking the feet and arms towards the sky, rolling through the ankles, rolling through the wrists, spreading the toes, maybe seeing the sky through each toe. And then releasing the arms out. And then we'll just make some big circles with the feet, pointing and flexing through the ankles. Maybe going in both directions. Beautiful. And then maybe zipping up the legs if you like. Pointing through the toes like you have a little paintbrush, and just paintbrush tiny little circles on the sky. Or maybe like you're swirling up the clouds. See if you can really make this movement happen from that space below your belly button and in between both hip points and the pubic bone. Letting that kind of move you. Keeping the low back on the earth. Maybe the circles get a little bigger. And eventually kind of spiraling back in to reverse the direction. Breathing nice and full. And eventually bringing yourself back down and taking the knees bent and the legs zipped up still. Knees are about over the hips, so they're kind of pulling away, so you get that little engagement, little tiny bit of tension in the belly. And then just kind of tick-tocking the knees left to right. Letting the breath guide you. Maybe you get a little further each time. Now, if this is too much, you can have the feet on the floor. Maybe you come over all the way, hovering for just a few inches above the earth on the right side, keeping the left shoulder heavy. And perhaps the knees find the ground for just a moment or two. Take a little twist. Some breath into the low belly, low ribs, and then coming over to the other side. Same thing. We'll just hover a few inches above the earth. And then releasing into a twist for a couple breaths. And then bringing yourself back up, and we'll rock our way up, coming up into a boat pose right off the bat. So toes are pointed, and see about having the toes touch the earth. Hands can be behind the thighs and sitting up tall to the top of the head. Breathing here. And then we'll just take one foot up at a time using the breath. And you can float your hands if you like, or hands can be behind the thighs. And again, that little sweet diamond of space between the belly button, pubic bone, both hips. That's kind of what's working here. Moving out of the thinking brain here, more into that perception, that feeling. And then maybe pausing, lifting the legs. And exhale, give yourself a hug. Bring the knees in, wrapping the hands and the arms around the knees, or knees into the armpits, hands to the shins. Letting the head fall. Big full breaths. Nice, and then crossing the legs, we'll start to go right into some rolls, just rolling through the spine. Big movement here. Moving, really feeling the shoulder blades shift. Maybe the perception shifts. Getting more into the body, out of the mind, maybe going each direction. And eventually coming back to the center. Inhale, big sweeping up with the hands. Take some air with you. Maybe the knees come up with you, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, a little twist towards the right, left hand, right knee. Breathing through the top of the head, just like a whale, like shooting the breath out the top of the head. I feel like that geyser. And then bringing yourself back up to the center and then to the other side. I really like that image on my exhale. I just feel it like cleanse and go right out my crown. And then just kind of back and forth like that. Inhaling up, exhaling other side. And you can just kind of flow, getting into that flow. Lovely. Warming up. At some point, maybe switch the cross in the legs. Another few breaths. And meeting back in the center, hands pull down to the heart, pausing here. Eyes closed or maybe a soft gaze at something around you that you haven't noticed yet. Maybe finding some place to bring your attention back to if you get distracted, an intention or a dedication. Or be totally okay with no intention at all, that's fine. And then let it go. Exhale, fall over the knees. Let's bring ourselves right over into a tabletop position. And as soon as you get into that tabletop, so stacking the joints, just see what starts to come naturally to you when you get here. Just honor that. Maybe it's cat-cow, maybe it's some big circles with the hips. And just see how you're feeling today. Feel through. Using your breath to help you here. And feel a little balance with gravity here. So we're going to be partnered with gravity today. So that you're kind of pushing down to lift. You feel this balance in between the knees and the feet on the earth, and find that space, and knowing that the ground is uneven underneath you, that's okay. Just find that spot. And eventually we're going to come with the right leg and reach it behind us, pressing back through the heel, and take the left arm out. So spinal balance. And we're just going to have a static hold here for a few breaths. And just notice. Maybe one more full breath here, and then release the left hand down. Keep the right leg out, and then bending at the knee. Press the heel up, a little tiger kick, and then point the toe. Press the heel. Point the toe. Press the heel. And notice if your right hip is lifted way up. Keep that hip balanced with the left, so maybe lower. There you go. And then pause here, holding the heel. And then take the left knee out to the side. Just kind of like a dog taking a pee on a tree. And then take your knee like over a barrel and let it just give your tricep a kiss. And then bring it back into the tiger kick. And then bring the knee in towards the nose, nose towards the knee. Inhale back up, tiger kick. Take the knee out to the side, let it kiss the tricep. Nice, back to the tiger kick, knee towards the nose. Hasta bandha with the hands, so the fingers are spread. We're moving through this really slowly. You're going over a barrel. Nice. Pointer finger and thumb kind of squeezing towards each other to get the arch of the palm to slightly lift. Here, one more here. Meet back paws on the tiger kick. Straighten through the leg. And then take the right foot over towards the left. And look over the left shoulder. And then just pulse the heel. Keep breathing. Notice where your breath is, and then bring the leg up, back, and then all the way straight over towards the right. Foot finds the earth, toes are pointing forward, and then maybe just come on to the forearms. Soften down. See if you can play with the balance in your body to find that opening through the seam of the right leg, letting the neck be soft. And then bring yourself back up. Lift the right leg, bring it straight behind you. And then with the legs straight, drop it with the toes tucked. And then press the palms into the earth to push yourself back up into a downward facing dog. And then just pedal out the feet. Shaking out the head. Again, finding that equilibrium with gravity here as you bring yourself forward into a plank. Knees can be down. And slowly lower to the earth any way you like. Maybe knees down, come all the way down. Hands are right back towards your sides of the chest and hug the elbows back a lot. Press the tops of the feet into the earth so much. And then again, pour energy out your heart as you lift your chest. Lift the head towards the sky. Hardly any weight in the hands. Cobra, and then release. Inhale, lift. Maybe the right foot lifts off the ground and you look over the left shoulder. And letting it go. Press the right foot down, lift the left, and look over the right shoulder. And then back towards the center. And you can try that a couple of times each side. And we'll meet back in the middle, last cobra, or maybe an upward facing dog if that feels good for you. Exhale back to child's pose. And just maybe wiggle the hips a little side to side. Soften your heart. And just checking in, see how you're doing. Nice. And then let's see about letting the left arm stay long and then bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Come up onto the fingertips of the right hand and then start to straighten the right arm as you look up over the right shoulder, pressing the left palm down. And you can try the other side. Right arm is long, left fingertips under the left shoulder. Kind of going back and forth with your breath, stillness or movement. If you just want to hang out in one for a couple breaths or the flow. And when you're ready, bringing yourself back up into that tabletop position, maybe moving through a couple cat-cows just to realign the spine. And then coming back into the other side. Right. So this time left foot out, right arm out. Nice. So you're kind of bringing the big toe on the left foot down and kind of pointing toward your nose. Right arm's long, Left hip is down. Good, good. Looks great. Notice that space below the belly button, and then take one more full breath and release the right arm. Slowly bend the left knee and then point the toe, kind of push up, and then point the heel, kind of push up. Right, so it's just little baby movements here. Little pulsing. Nice, take one more. Take the knee out to the side, keeping the knee bent. Here we go, we're gonna come up over a barrel and just give the tricep a little kiss. And then come back, tiger kick, knee towards the nose. Lifting over the barrel, tricep kiss, knee towards the nose. And maybe just find some version of this that works for you. Maybe it's only a couple of them. Nice, maybe one more. Holding in that tiger kick, extend the leg, and then take the leg over towards the right. Looking over the right shoulder, gentle pulsing of the heel. Nice, now engage the low belly, lift the leg again, bring it out. See about bringing it all the way to the left this time, and release the leg. Whew. Toes pointing forward, coming down onto the forearms. Little rocking back and forth. Nice, so when you're ready, bring yourself back up. Here we go, engage the low belly, lift the leg, bring it behind you. Keeping the toes tucked, the leg is long. Bring the left toes down, tucking the toes. Get ready, press up into downward facing dog. Just pedaling out the feet a little bit. Maybe using a full cycle of breath as you press out the left heel. And a full cycle of breath as you press out the right. And then just gently start to find your way, walking towards the top of the mat, taking your time to kind of get into the backs of the legs as you walk. Nice forward fold. Feeling that, not a full surrendering, but this kind of pressing down through the feet to lift up through the sit bones. Releasing the head, maybe a little sway side to side. Nice, and then a deep bend in the knees as you walk your hands up your shins. Hands can come to the knees. Again, a little lift of that skin on the belly. Just thinking about that, so you kind of you're not like really this big curve in the low back here. You want to feel a little lift. And then the hands can come to the heart. And then maybe you lift the heart a little bit, coming into a nice chair pose, and you can sink and rise and sink and rise. Feel a little softness somewhere, some sukha. Maybe bringing the arms into it, bringing the arms back. And if you like, as you come up, a little heart opener. Just making sure as you come up that you bring the belly, the skin on the belly up with you so you're not cranking into the low back. Nice. So next time, bring yourself all the way up, big heart opener towards the sky. And bringing the hands up, interlace the fingers and turn the palms towards the sky. Reaching over towards the right. Maybe the head just falls onto the bicep. Rooting down through the left heel. And then the other side. Rooting down through the right heel. And releasing the hands. Whew. Lovely. Give yourself a little shake if you need to. Got a problem here. All right. I'm going to bring ourselves back into a chair pose. I've got like a couple mounds right underneath my mat in some really interesting spots. All right, so this time chair pose is going to be left hand to the left hip pocket, fingertips rolling down. Hug the elbow back. Make sure you can see your toes, right? And each toe is just really gently kissing the mat. So there's not gripping, but just some kissing of the mat. It's very gentle. And then the right arm can reach up. Keep hugging the left elbow back, right arm reaches. Again, a little lifting of that skin of these hip points, kind of pointing up towards the ribs. And then taking the hand behind the head, lifting to the elbows, the head can just fall back into the palm. Oh, that sun feels nice. We're going to take a little crunch over towards the left. So this right elbow is going to come over towards the left knee. Not all the way, but maybe just moving in that direction. Then lifting through the elbow, lift the heart. And then exhale back down. So as you come down, press the head into the hand, not the hand into the head. So you're not pressing on your neck, right? And also imagine you're squeezing a block in between your knees so that the knees aren't going all haywire, right? They're steady. Now we'll come into a twisted chair. So bring that right knee, right elbow over towards the left knee. Maybe the forearm just rests on the thigh. That's okay too. You don't have to come all the way into a twist. And then the hands can press. So coming into that prayer. So look at your knees and see where they are. Make sure they're balanced and even. They're not. There you go. Good job. Breathing here. And then everyone look down, put the weight into the left foot. See if you can bring the right foot back to this nice, twisted lunge. Pressing back through the heel on the right foot. Keeping the heart open. See about bringing yourself up and expanding the arms if you like. If you lean to bring a right knee down too, this is okay. You can try this. And we'll just have a flow coming up and down. You can have the knee down or lifted. And you can choose stillness too if you prefer to not flow. On this incline where I am, it feels better to have my knee down. Nice, and we'll meet in this kind of extended arm for a moment, holding. Maybe shimmy the shoulder blades a little. Maybe roll through the wrists, open and close the hands. Nice, now the left arm's going to sweep along and bring you up into a crescent lunge. Maybe the knee is lifted now. You can stay down too, that's fine. Breathing here, elbows out to the side. If you're up, we're going to bend the back knee and let it almost touch the earth. And then bring yourself back up, straightening through the legs. Exhaling down. If you're already down on the knee, just holding, maybe reaching through the arms and then bringing out the elbows. Good options. Nice, take one more, bring yourself all the way down if you're not there already. And release the hands forward. Nice. Shimmy the right knee back a little. And then see about tucking the toes and lifting the knee. The right arm can come out a little bit more, spreading the palm a lot. Pressing the palm down, left knee right over the ankle as the left arm reaches towards the sky, or reach with the elbow. Hand can be on the shoulder or the ribs or the hip pocket. All of those are good options. Nice, strong pressing back through the right knee, right heel. And then left hand's going to come alongside the body here. Put it right next to the left foot. Right arm reaches up and then reaches over towards the left. And we're going to flow in between those two poses. Right palm down, left arm lifts. Left hand down, right arm reaches towards the left. Try one more round. After you reach over towards the left, keep walking over towards the right to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Hips towards the sky, toes in, heels out. Release the head down. You just bend the left knee, bend the right knee. Maybe walk the hands towards the right shin. And then towards the left shin. Just have a little free-flowing movement if you like. And then if you would like to keep building a little more heat here, you can act like you're scooping up the earth with your hands. So from the right foot, you scoop up the earth, hands towards the heart, left foot, hands towards the heart, just kind of swaying back and forth. Then let it go. And very gently bring yourself up. Hands can come to the hips. Maybe bend the knees, bringing yourself up. Heels in, toes out. Bending the knees, hugging the knees back. And lifting the hands towards the sky, like a goddess pose. Breathing. Shifting the weight from the right foot, kind of through the knee, through the pelvis, over towards the left. Feeling that flowing of energy. Nice. Inhale, taking the arms up, holding the hands over the head, turning the left toes towards the top of the mat, and then opening up into a warrior two. You can just play with your warrior two. Again, you can shift the weight from the left foot back into the back foot through the pelvis, just kind of feeling that shifting of energy, letting your breath move with you. Knee right over the ankle. Beautiful. Nice. Now taking the hands over the head with the left knee still bent. And then straightening through the left leg. As we straighten, we still kind of think about having a soft knee. So it's straight, yet not completely straight. So the toes can lift. And then hands can come to the heart and come back to this little side lunge. So the hips come back. The knee on the right side is still going over towards that second toe. Lifting back up. Slowly come back into warrior two. So that's the flow. Hands lift. Leg straightens, hands to heart and lunge. Inhaling back up, opening. So feel the breath move, feel the energy flow from foot through the pelvis to the other foot. Playing with gravity a little bit. And if you'd like to have a little more core, you can take the hands to the back of the head, but only if you're not pressing the hands into the head. It's the opposite. The head presses back up into the hands. Let's try one more, coming back to warrior two when you're ready. Right hand comes alongside the body, brings you back up into that crescent pose. Nice. Left arm crosses on top of the right eagle arms. See if you can come onto the top of the right foot. Opening up through the top of the foot. If you can, it's just an opportunity to play. And then bring it up, drag it up. Maybe take the knee out to the side first, flexing through the foot. Little balance. Nice. Woo! I'm on an incline. And then coming over into eagle, crossing over the leg. So maybe just the toe touches. And again, if this doesn't work for your arms pressing the palms together, you can take opposite shoulder here too. One more breath. Opening up into a big, arms big V, leg out to the side, lifting the leg, and then letting it go. Oh yeah, shaking it out. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. It was so windy. My camera, computer both blew over. Mats were going everywhere outside. And then it just became completely still. It was like really crazy and then like totally calm. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. All right, so we're going to do that same sequence on the other side. Yeah, getting a little warm now. It's nice to shed the layers. That's why layers are so awesome. All right, so any little thing, maybe a little sway side to side, just to kind of see if anything has gotten tense or tight or sticky. You just kind of want to get that out. Maybe even shaking out the spine a little bit, forward and back. Some gentle rolls with the neck. And here we go, bringing ourselves back into chair. And actually, to come into chair, let's do a full sun salutation. Inhale up. Exhale, come on down. Hinging at the hips, release down. Nice. Now, walk the hands up the shins, sending the hips back, hands to the knees. Then the hands come to the heart. Now lift the chest a little bit. See if you can keep that same engagement in the low belly. Right hand, right hip pocket, hug the right elbow back. Left arm reaches towards the sky. Palm facing forward if it feels okay. Hand behind the head. Head presses back into the palm. Lift the heart. As you lift the heart, lift the skin on the belly a little bit, and then left elbow towards the right knee. Keep so this hand is telling the hips to stay level, right? So it's kind of keeping the hips level and the knees level. So it's thinking about that as you hug the right elbow back. Supporting yourself, just back and forth, a little flow, lifting the elbow high towards the sky, and then hugging the elbow in. Nice. When you're ready, bringing it down into your twist, right? And though this side might be a little different than the other, our bodies are not perfect, and our bodies are perfect, but they're not perfectly even, right? Just like the ground underneath my mat. Now looking down towards the feet, put the weight on the right foot, left foot steps back. Ooh, nice. Keep breathing here and decide if you'd like to lower the left knee or keeping it high as we flow, right? So arms out, exhaling back down. So very controlled here. We're not cranking into anything. We're just really gently feeling the energy move and shift. The balance. So the balance moves and shifts just like your energy does. It's the same. And then we'll pause here with the arms open. Nice. And then right arm alongside the body, palms face forward, bringing yourself up into that crescent pose. Elbows out and soften the knee down if it's not down already. Inhaling, reaching up, straightening through the legs. Exhaling down. Nice. Elbows out. Almost like you're pulling up on a pull-up bar. Right? Let's try one more and bring yourself all the way down. Whew. and let it go. Nice. Inch that left foot back. Toes are tucked. Right? Left palm down, nice and wide, spread palm. Opening up. Right arm towards the sky or elbow. Pressing back through the left heel. And releasing the right hand alongside the right foot, fingertips or a block. Left arm lifts and then reaches over towards the right. As you do that, really press back through the left heel, getting into the psoas, and then we'll flow, right? Lifting the right arm, releasing, lifting the left, and reaching. Yeah, blocks are great for this. Just feel where that movement's happening. Maybe you can feel it all radiating out from that very center of the body, that place 2 inches below the belly button. Try one more. Reaching with the left arm, and then let the left arm just pull you back over into a big wide-legged forward fold. Ooh. And maybe just a bending. Left knee, right knee. Letting the head hang. Maybe walking the hands over towards the left ankle or shin. And then towards the right. And then again, a little scooping up of the earth, bringing it to your heart, back and forth. A little bit of core work with this, but also just feeling, you're just kind of bringing up that earth energy, bringing it into your heart, and then just letting it go, releasing down, letting the sit bones reach up towards the sky. Slowly bringing yourself up, hands to the hips. Not already there, toes out, heels in. And then bending the knees, right? So now we kind of let the sacrum and the tailbone kind of reach down as the knees hug back, right? And then just adjust your feet. If there's any uncomfortableness in the knees, just adjust the feet. You know, a little slow dance with yourself. Maybe lifting the palms. Breathing. This time let's take the hands behind the back, and it's like this, a little fist bump with your hands like this, but right behind the back. Pressing the knuckles a little bit, that space where you see the tattoos. Like that's where it's pressing. You can press them more. Maybe it feels okay to have a prayer hands down, pointing the fingers down. Or maybe pointing the fingers up, prayer hands. So those are the 3 options. So fist, prayer hands up, prayer hands down. And maybe lift the right heel. Ooh. What was that intention? Releasing, lift the left. That place to come back to. And release, maybe lifting both. Eek. And let it all go. Hands come to thighs. Come down. Take a little twist over the left as you straighten through the right arm, looking over the left shoulder. And the other side, looking over the right shoulder, straightening through the left arm. A little back and forth. And then bringing yourself up, hands overhead, right toes towards the top. Getting ready to open up into Warrior 2. And just playing a little bit to get yourself set up, maybe rolling through the wrists. Can't believe the chickens aren't here. Where'd they go? There's sheep back there too. Nice, and then we'll flow. Right hands come overhead. Then straighten through the leg. Maybe the toe lifts. Come back. Hips come back as you come over into your lunge. Inhaling up and opening. And again, feel where the balance is. So you're kind of pressing the energy up from the right foot over into the left. Right, so you're just kind of like a teeter-totter, kind of rolling that balance back and forth.
I hope I switched legs.
Huh?
I said I hope I switched legs. I went.
Oh no. I hope I did switch us, right? We're not doing the same thing. Because I often forget, all right? Well, you might have to do it again. Oh, and we'll come down. Maybe hands come behind the head. Try that a couple of times if you like. And bring yourself back into warrior two. Left hand comes alongside the body. Bring yourself up, crescent pose. Arms come out, eagle arms. Right arm on top of left. Oh, did you do the same side?
It's okay.
Come to the top of the left foot. If you can play with that. Sometimes it feels good to kind of roll it a little bit. And then bring it up, drag it up, bring the knee out to the side. And then bring it over. Whew. And letting it go, opening up. And release. Shaking it out again. How we doing on our time? Excellent, perfect time. All right. Let's take the hands behind the back and release the fingers and just bring the hands down as far as feels comfortable. Maybe the wrist touch here. Root into the feet, gentle bend in the knees, and just let the chin fall towards the chest. Breathe up and down the spine, all the way to the top of the head, to the forehead. And then roll the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And then chin back towards the chest. Right ear, right shoulder. And you can try that a few times back and forth. And if you feel comfortable bringing the chin towards the sky a little bit, a little gentle rolling up. Maybe you find a place that feels a little sticky and you want to hang out there. That's fine too. When you're ready, meeting back at the front, we're going to let the hands float up towards the sky as you hinge at the hips and come forward. Nice forward fold. Maybe bend the left knee, looking up over the right hip as you kind of press down through the right heel to push the energy up and out that right sit bone. And then the other side. Same thing, other side. And releasing the hands down the backs of the legs, letting it go. And if you can, we'll take the hands underneath the feet. So you'll take the left hand and just bring it under to where you can get the toes onto the wrists. And the same with the right hand. So you see if you can, you bend the knees a lot here. You can have the thighs pressing up into the torso. And then let the head hang and just tilting up through the sit bones. And then just wiggling the toes a lot to kind of massage through that ball of the hand. And slowly let it go. Opposite hands, opposite elbows, a little sway side to side, moving into sunflowers. Really think about Pada Bandha here with the feet. So having a nice engagement with the earth, a little lift of the pelvic floor as we sway side to side and peek up on the left side about hip height. See if you can keep your head framed by your arms as you go to the right side and peek up about hip height. Using your breath. When you come to the left side, maybe come up to about shoulder height and let it go. And then the right side, shoulder height. Let it go. This time as you come up on the left side, lead with the right elbow. Bring yourself all the way to the top. And then lead with the right as you reach over to the left. Go back down the way you came up. All the way down. Coming over to the right side, coming up, leading with the left elbow. Come all the way up. And then lead with the left as you go down. Back on the right side. So sway side to side, really pressing down through the feet. Like I said, a little lift in the pelvic floor. And meeting back down at the bottom, letting go. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up. Mountain pose. Hands to the heart. So we'll try one more balance pose, tree pose. So a fun way, I've been taking this training with Donna Fari, actually. It's a really fun training. Goes on for 7 months. So I'll be talking about it for a lot. But the way she comes into tree pose is really interesting. So she talks a lot about the balance between the feet. So you're kind of moving back and forth. And then she says, so we'll start with the right foot. So root down to the left. You lift the right foot. Extend it out, and then bring it through, extend it back, and then lift the knee as you bring yourself back, and then you find that kind of in-between place, right? So we were first all the way forward, all the way back, and then you find that kind of in between those two where your balance is. Right? And then toe could be touching the earth. You could have a foot on the calf, just not on the knee. And you can play with your hands wherever you'd like them to be. Be a little sway side to side, because we know here in the gorge trees aren't very still. And just slowly letting it go. So we'll do the same thing, the other side. Just notice. So we lift and we extend, and you kind of turn the toe out and in and out, and then bring it back. Kind of turn the toe out and in, and then find that in between. Wherever that is. Extra challenge when you've got 15-mile-per-hour winds blowing you over. Woo. It is fun. I'm glad you think it's fun. I do too. And slowly letting it go. No fancy footwork, just bring yourself onto the earth.
That was cool. I could feel like, okay, there's this point, right? You're forward, back,
Yeah.
and then you're coming forward and...
Yeah, it's nice. There's that place, and you can play with that a few times where it's a push and pull. Let's let the soles of the feet touch, and then have the feet further away from the body. hands behind your back if it feels okay. And you can play with your fingers if it feels okay to have the fingers pointing forward. Maybe try that. And we're going to just do a little bit of tricep work, just lowering the elbows and then pressing the earth away, lifting through the heart. So we're bringing ourselves back and then lifting through the heart. So as you press into the earth, that energy from the earth is shooting out the heart. So you kind of feel that shift of energy. And then we're going to slowly bring the feet onto the earth as we do this. Heels touching, and then we're going to just soften the knees over towards the right as we lift up, looking over the left shoulder, lower, and then lift up, looking over the other. So it's a little twisting action. Just kind of find your twist. So we can continue this way. Right, so this is one option. If you want to do a little more core work to add to this, you bring the legs up, right? Come onto the right glute, and you can extend the legs as you soften through the elbows. Bring yourself up, roll onto the left glute, and extend out. Woo! I'm on an incline. Yeah. So you can go back and forth, or if you prefer to stay on one side and kind of pulse. I call this the muffin top workout here. And you can try the other side. And then when you're ready, we're just going to release the feet down. Bring the knees up towards the heart again and give yourself a hug. Either knees towards the armpits or arms wrapped around the knees. All right, let's take a figure 4. Left ankle, right knee. And this time maybe the fingers turn out, if that feels okay on the body. And just a little sway side to side with the knee. Only if it feels safe in the sacrum here. So you just go as far as feels comfortable. Just a little rock. If you prefer to just stay here, static, it's fine too. Gentle movements. And then as you feel ready, just lower onto the earth, keeping that figure 4, bringing the legs up and taking a little interlacing of the fingers behind the right thigh. If you like, you can press that right thigh into the hands and then release it and tuck the tailbone a little. So you just kind of go back and forth. So you kind of press the thigh into the hands and then tuck the tailbone. On your breath, so keep breathing. And then just release the foot down. Maybe cross the left leg over the right and take a little twist over towards the right. Left leg on top. Maybe the other side, taking the knees over towards the left. Maybe the right arm reaches overhead when you do this. Might feel good. And bringing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a hug. Bringing yourself back up to try the other side. Opposite right ankle on top of left knee. And again, just a real gentle rocking. It's like perfect temperature now, right? Like the clouds are really nice to have. And when you're ready, lowering down onto the earth, taking that interlaced finger grip behind the left thigh. And again, just pressing the thigh into the hands and then releasing and then just curling up the tailbone. Maybe it's just a millimeter or two off the earth. Those really tiny little micro movements. And then releasing the left foot down, letting the right leg cross over the left, and then letting the knees fall towards the left. Maybe a little twist towards the opposite side, letting the knees go to the right. And maybe that left arm reaches overhead. And slowly releasing any final movements that feel good for you. Maybe taking the legs back up towards the sky, shaking out the arms and the legs. Is anything that feels good before Shavasana? Bringing yourself into stillness, maybe putting that extra layer back on. Just coming into that stillness. Just finding that touchstone. What was that intention, that place you wanted to bring yourself back to if you got distracted? Be touching there with a soft breath. And slowly just letting yourself surrender to that support of the ground beneath you. Letting the forehead smooth. The tongue release from the roof of the mouth. And every time you exhale, maybe a little something else softens and releases in your body. It makes room for a little more beauty. Just letting the sounds and sensations of the wind gently caress your senses. when you feel ready, finding some gentle movements in the body, fingers, toes, tip of your nose. Just perhaps rolling over to a side and letting your bicep be a pillow for your head. Taking a few more conscious breaths there. And then as you bring yourself up, see if the last thing to come up can be your head, so that you kind of harvest the practice, that residue from your practice, and you bring it with you as you gently come to a seat, holding that softness with you. And we'll close practice together here. Thank you so much for sharing the space with me today. Namaste. There is some blue sky, and there has been birdsong.
That was wonderful.